I think it's started. Yeah. So let me wait. Just I will wait for a minute. I'm not gonna check the tool. So I will start from here only. Hey. So if you are gonna watch, so thank you so much for clicking. And we are going to discuss something cool here. Talk yesterday. So a minute at least. So let me wait. Just I will wait for a minute. I'm not gonna check the tool. Hello, hello, hello. Start from here only. Hey. So if you are gonna watch. Okay. So first thing, yeah. So welcome to High Entropy, and it's day. What do we say? It's day 5 of AI learning, and to be honest, it feels like I'm just starting. It's day 1 or 2. I haven't realized that we have already past 4 days. So that's how time goes, and you won't. If you won't count it, you will realize. Okay, weeks are passing, years are passing, months are passing. Okay, so that's why we need to make a count of. That's why some people recommend when you are doing something, make a calendar circle on a calendar. Then you will realize, okay, how days are passing so quickly, and you will work on it, right? Once you, it's like suppose you are earning some amount and you are tracking your like expenses, everything, then you will realize, okay, how much expenses you are doing. Otherwise you especially if you are living in India, it's pretty easy to open your phone, open some phone pay or some application, and just click on the, just scan the QR, right, and you can pay, you can buy anything. So it's pretty easy. Earlier we used to carry money, cash, and that's why like we need to go to ATM, we need to find collect the cash, and when we are giving to someone we realize. But now it's just you are playing with numbers, so it's pretty easy, right? So that's why like how our life also, when we are not tracking, you won't realize. For example, for me, like weeks are going like a few days. I'm just counting, okay, when the Friday is coming, when the Saturday is coming, and 2 days holiday, 2 days like weekend feels me like one day. I'm realizing it. I'm not getting the value of 48 hours. You know what? It's like you are not getting the, you are not creating value, or you are not worthful, or you are not doing something worthy, and you feel okay. 48 hours passed like just 48 minutes. It's too exaggerating, but it's like you are just 3 4 hours or 5 hours, 10 hours you spend, and 2 days gone. And I'm just counting like every day is like 3 4 days feels like 2 days, and I'm doing something, and I'm coming back and doing. So life is going in a flight, like how we say, uh, yeah. So by the way, so we are learning AI, and I'm just focusing on Claude first. And if you are gonna watch it for the first time, then I would like to let you know that our goal is simple. We are going to follow the top to bottom approach. First we'll learn something cool, and then we'll jump into the depth of it, like how things are working. Our goal is to go to the root level, like how models works, how to, and it's not like just I'm learning Claude and that's all. For example, today I gone through a video. I will tell you, if you are following, then you might know. There is a channel Byte Monk, and they are creating cool videos. Yeah. So today I just watched this video. I think I haven't finished it. I was watching in office when I was in office. So I got to know, okay, how tokens are working. So I will just give you brief about the tokens. I mean, you might be already aware, but I just want to revise my skills, what I learned. I just will tell you. I would love to explain, but it might be like I'm not explaining it properly, and that's why I'm here to learn and explain it in a better way. So first thing, okay, whenever we are hitting a prompt, what is happening behind? You are entering a prompt. Prompt means nothing but user input that you are giving. We call it a prompt. And behind the scene, like whenever you are talking to, basically you can think like chat gpt, you given prompt, and it will go from your client application that you call chat gpt, or maybe browser, and your query will go to the server, you can say server, big huge server that we call the cluster. Okay, it will go there, and what it will do, first step is it will break your input or your prompt into tokens. So in simpler term, you can think of like it will break into words, like like suppose you said I like to watch movies, so it will break I like to watch movies. Okay, but in reality there will be more tokens, like movies will be broken into movie, IE and ES. So it depends on different models. Maybe if you are using Anthropic, Claude model, Anthropic model, or maybe not Claude, like yeah, there are different model, Opus, Heroku, and not Heroku and Haiku, right? Haiku, it's a Haiku. And I get confused. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, so Haiku or any model, more GPT model, or it could be Anthropic model, or it could be Gemini model. So it depends on that. So they have different methodology how they break prompt or input text into tokens. So it depends on the different uh, models how they are treating breaking. But normally, I'm just telling you at surface level, you can think of like them they are breaking into words. Then what will be the next step? Every token is going to get one ID, that is number, because computers are gonna work with numbers only. They don't understand text. Everything you are converting ultimately going to be converted into numbers, then only they will understand. And to be precise, everything will be converted into zeros and ones at the end, but forget about that. So these are token ID, we call them. And then these token IDs will be somewhere something there was pre-fill, where this token IDs will be like you can say converted into basically parallelly they will be pre-fill. There was something I missed that part particularly, but the step will be pre-fill. And at this step, like everything whatever you provided, so like models will gonna cost you for input that you are providing. It will be smaller because it will compute and it will be faster. And once it is pre-filled, then it will be passed to the you can think of like what we say, it will be converted into encodings. Okay, encodings, you can say like, okay, what will be the like encoding, you can think of like vectors. It's going to convert each token into vector, and vector like then similarly it will find out like, okay, what is similar to it, and accordingly in the vector space we call them embeddings. Like when we are converting text into numbers, token ID, you can say token ID will be converted into vectors, embeddings, and you will find the closest one. And then the models part comes and it will predict next token. So every time when you are doing something, you will see like in chat GPT or any model, you will see like it is taking time and streams the text one by one, words by words, or maybe sentences by sentence, words by words to be precise, or token by token. And reason for that is simple. It's going to predict each token every time, and it will be a loop. Every time you can think of like it will be loop, where the token that is generating, it's going to it's going to pass that as an input to the model along with the input that you have given. So every time it is happening like this in the loop, and until it will generate the complete text or complete tokens. So it will keep on doing this, and this is the you can say high processing not processing, we will say high computation or high, it need a lot of processing. So it's going to take a lot of processing, or it's going to consume a lot of it needs like you can think of like when you are thinking deep thinking, then you need a lot of energy to process something. Your brain need a lot of energy, that's why brain avoids to do complex things. In the same way, I'm saying like, okay, I don't know if you can hear me loud and clear, but yeah, that's the process. So every time, so all the tokens that is generating, it's like a 4 to 5 times costlier compared to the input prompt that you are giving, and the cost that will be associated with input tokens and output tokens. So the thing is, and also one thing I got to know that is very interesting thing. I will let you know. So it is like when you are giving something, for example, you are giving text in Hindi. So model takes more, generates like more tokens, and it's like you are paying extra cost for that, because in compared to English, when you are giving in some languages that are complex, and it will generate a lot of tokens. Maybe let's say you can say Hindi, let's say. So it might be ha, I don't know, and the di and Hindi, so the and all might be the different token it will generate. I'm not sure, but it generates more tokens. and more it will be broken into multiple tokens. So that's why it will like you will it will incur more cost when you will generate text in Hindi or any other language. And similarly, it happens with the programs that if you are giving some program to as an input to ChatGPT or something, then also the same happens. Maybe it will break into operators, asterisk, parenthesis, everything. Codes are like they are not words; they are different tokens. You can think of there will be more tokens. So that's why when we are giving our like error stack trace, maybe that you are giving as an input, it will cost more. But sometimes some things we are getting free. For example, for me, ChatGPT, whenever I'm creating thumbnails, I got it, I believe, from Airtel. They provided it for 1 year. So it will be like till November or something. We are getting Go model. So at least I'm freely, I can generate images and all. And it feels like, okay, you are getting something for free. But behind the scene, when you are putting long input and all, things are going to overburden the model. And you are going to pay lot more compared to the simpler prompts. Maybe some that's why. So I got one more idea from it. Sometimes like we are not using perfect sentences and we are using more words, and we feel like, okay, what else, like maybe you will give more prompts, more text, but the problem is you are giving more input to that and maybe it's not valuable. So you can reduce the cost and it will be beneficial for you if you are using something repetitive. Just spat on my screen. uh, so, so, so it's very fascinating. I don't know, maybe I will share you if you wanted to. Yeah, let me share it. Or maybe you just go to ByteMonk and then you can search it. So why would I share it? I mean, it's already there, so you can search it and go through this video. You will get something interesting from this video, and I would like to recommend it to you. Maybe I will highly recommend it to go through this video and also watch more content. Then you will get to know more about it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting things. The things that are going you are in a one click. Suppose if I can get it for free, like if Claude can buy company or maybe some, then I will experiment a lot. I will use more skills. But right now, for me, it's like I'm giving $10, and if I'll use more, though I have just spent $0.5, but still it's 45, 45, 30, 40 rupees. That is also enough for me. And the person whom video I watched, Anzalama, he was also, I believe he is living in Canada, then he is earning a lot of money. But still, see, he is not spending a lot of money on Claude because these things are not cheaper. These are very costly. And especially, I remember yesterday I was saying, okay, it's taking time to process the things. But the simple reason was I was using Heroku models, basic model, first model that they have developed. And so definitely you can expect it, right? It will take time, it's not that it's smart enough, but ultimately it use copy into command. But if you'll go with Opus, or maybe now there is another model, what we say, uh, it's a pivot or what? Claude, let's see, we need to learn not the models, how many tokens it took. Let's see, spending 0. It will be 0.50. No problem. Why it's showing now 2.6 million token last year? Token volume. So see how much words we are spreading. For example, if you see, by the way, so what is the like Claude latest models? Fibit, I believe. No, Fable. What is Fibit? Why it's this kind? What is Fibit? I don't know. Somewhere I heard this word, or I just Fable. Fable meaning in Claude. In the context of Anthropic AI, Claude Fable refers to the Claude's Fable 5, a frontier Mythos class language model built for highly complex, long-running agentic tasks. The name Fable derives from the Latin fabula, meaning that which is told. Oh, it's great, man. at least we got to know something. Like fable means it's a Latin word, and that means the things that which is told. It means it's going to perform what is already being told to it, and that is long running tasks. So you can learn a lot of things from it. And my brain is working perfectly right now. So great, great, great. Fable 5. Okay, so we can see one thing. Why they kept the name 5? Opus there was 4, Haiku there was 4. Okay, let's see why they kept. There will be definitely a reasoning behind it. Kept the fable 5, not 4. Fable 4. Let's see. Oh, it's fable is there another one thing that is game or something. In Anthropic. In Claude. Fable 4 and Opus 4 generation. 1 minute, bro. Opus 4 generation. Compare models. New flagship model for the hardest problems. Input 10 million. Sorry. So let's compare them. Okay, Haiku is not with full pricing, so we'll see. We need to see it, everything. Okay, let's. But side by side was good. See, I was telling, right? If you are giving input, they are taking less compared to output. The content that it is going to generate. So $50 per million token. What minute? How many million token we used? 2.6 million tokens. So I'm in token volume. Total tokens used across input, output, and cache read or writes on one token equals to four characters of English. 4 characters of English. Okay, maybe. Wow. So okay, let's say Haiku. How much it will take? $1 per million token for input. 5 per million token. What is M token? Oh, it's not there, chat. By the way, it's like a big difference between these $50. I think it's pretty costly, man. Claude Mythos. What is Mythos? Okay, let's forget it and let's jump into the skills what we are going to do today. So definitely we have a lot of time. Is today we are going to start till 3 a.m. So we have a lot of time and we are going to perform hands-on and we are going to do something before we jump. Like Claude is finished. I'm targeting 1.5 hours for the MCP. So it's 3 hours course. You can say model context protocol. Lamba. So no problem. Our goal is 3 hours 46 minutes. So let's take target maybe 3 hours 1.5, and if we are going to speed up 1.75 maybe we'll cover it. And 3.47 into 0.75, 2.5 hours. What you did, bro? Into, oh god, something is not, my math is not working or what? If I'm watching at a speed of 1.75, I think we need to divide it 1.75. 1.9 hours. Oh what? Still it's more. Let's say 2. Then yeah, it's like 4 by 2. Then 1.7 hours. Oh, let's not worry. We want definitely we need time little. It's not like we are going to be like learn it in rush, because still I need to go through the Claude again and again to learn more about it. Especially this course, I just gone through the course, but it is not it's enough. So today idea is simple. We are going to master even more skill. We will create one more skill, and our goal is simple. So simple and dimple. Where is dimple? We are doing some simple task, but where is dimple? Dimple, dimple, dimple. Okay, so tomorrow I kept this to do. So first thing we are going to so let's see if it is going to detect new file. So I will place one more file there. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So from here we are going to do, so what we did yesterday, products, let's do customers, and we are going to do, so 5.1 million records. Yeah, will it be faster? Okay, 16 MB. Yeah, quick, pretty quick. Let's see. So let's copy it. Yes, copy it, and here we go. Claude skills, and we are going to, let's see if it is working, and it's going to load only one file. We'll see. And logs, so let's keep as it is. Okay, so next idea would be simply we are going to do once it will be done. Why? No, I think from here we can get, no. Oh no, it's not that what I wanted to do. Oh, Claude, where is Claude? It's not do that what I was musician. Okay, no problem. So let's say first reload skills. I don't know what it does. No changes available. So okay, I'm not gonna call load the files to Snowflake. Let's see whether it is going to load all the files again, or it's going to try the load first file only, and whether it will use the existing script or it's going to create new script. Oh god. Data to Snowflake with proper logging. Wait a minute, let's see. First thing is it's going to create log, if not script, it's not reading, I believe. Eleven two 43. What is today's date? 11/6. It's 12. Oh, 12. Got loaded.py. No. You cannot do this. I mean, let's watch the video first. Something is not going great. We wanted to load it, whatever we have. So we need to rewatch. Ansh Lama. What is the Claude? Ansh. Let's see. Oh, okay.
Everyone wants to learn Claude Code in 2026 because of its growing demand. But where is the structure guide? What are the resources I need to refer? What about prerequisites? Claude Code will happen. If you do not know about asynchronous behavior, you can just learn about it. It's like a very fundamental thing in Python. Like not very fundamental, it's like advanced thing, but it's the way it should. Okay, and you should always log the responses. For example, I have 6 to 7 APIs. Okay, one API is not working, so I need to just log the information which API work and which didn't. And download Python. It doesn't know like I have the Python as well, so it will just simply. No, I don't have HTTPS. Wow, this is my global environment. Okay.
One important thing I remember yesterday, what it does, or what it did, not does. So if you remember what it did, I forgot it. When what I was about to tell you, something was cool. Yeah, I will tell you. And I kept the wrong database name in environment variables. And the good thing is, once I'm providing it the correct username and password and account name, then it can access and it can list out and role as well. Don't forget about role. Then it can access and it can see what are the different databases, because these are metadata property. You can list out all the databases that are available in the account. So it checked and it compared whether my database is correct or not in the environment variable, and then it's found and it understands that okay, this is incorrect and this is the right thing. I think I kept double B databases something. So I like that way. Like it's thinking like a human, and now you will be thinking like, okay, why is exaggerating the things? Not exaggerating something that like you still will feel like okay, it's program, it's doing something robotically, but no, it's not just simple program. It's like doing something extraordinarily, and it's treating it's like how we are going to do these things. It's in the same way it is doing. It's great. I like the way it try to debug. I think if we'll use the top class models, maybe Fable, or you can say Opus, Sonnet, then it will perform better. The time it took, to create a script, and it used some hacky approach, copy into command, though I was expecting it to load using pandas, write pandas method, create a data frame, and then, but it did. Somehow it was able to successfully load the data, and that's a great thing. And right now I'm watching the video. Reason is simple, because I'm expecting it should if it script is there but it is not getting the script. I think maybe I need to enhance the skill, and not enhance but update the skill and reload the skill. I will have to do.
Amazing, man, amazing. And it has created one file as well. Where is that file? I keep it. This is the file. Now, let me just tell you amazing stuff. Because now you will say, Anshul, skills are amazing. Are you satisfied with skills right now? Okay. So you have two options to call using NLP or directly call the skill using slash command. Slash command is more convenient. Oh, the CSV, and then it just logs the information as well. Everything in skill. So it literally opened Microsoft Store in my screen like this. You see. So this is the because now can you imagine how HTTPX is not this particular scenario where let's say you are not downloading the generate the file. And if you're satisfied with that, extend our skill. What do you mean? And I can just add that particular step called my skills, and I can say whenever I type skills, perform these actions. Obviously, this is an not learning. Is my money working? Make sense? Claude.md. But you already know this concept that every time this to provide the so you chat no this
okay, he's just explaining why are we creating, why don't we keep everything into the Claude.md. Reason is it's going to attach every time, and it's like skills are necessary only when you are invoking them, not every time. So let's try.
Not skills. You something else. Share skills, no, grow in documentation. So here, by the way, this documentation is amazing. To be honest, very good documentation. Okay, perfect. Share skills, no, not share skills. Maybe I just need to take my own example because I was hoping I can just take an example from here. Restrict tool cause blah, blah. Oh yes, here's the thing. You need to understand the thing. Please carefully. Okay. Now we can extend our skills. How and what does it mean? Basically, you provide everything in skill.md. Yes. But sometimes you need to provide some references. Yes. It can be some kind of references. Let's say there are some references that I want to perform, or let's say there are some references that I want to use whenever it is needed. And you choose some of two real-time scenario. But sometimes what will happen is, let's say you are asking Claude Code to write a PySpark code and performing those things. Okay.
What I kept scripts I kept it, bro. Let's see, it will do it, right?
But sometimes it did. With some more context, but whenever it is generic back on, you can say quotation, paper publicly available. It's just okay, I have a skill. But for that skill, I am a senior data engineer, okay, in my organization. That's easy. So instead of asking Claude Code to regenerate the code every time, because you have written the code for it and you know that it is running fine, so now you can create a dedicated folder called scripts. And instead of asking Claude Code to generate the code and run it, you can simply say, bro, go to this folder and run the script, and that's it. Wow. What is the advantage of it? Double advantage. Advantage number one is you do not need to rewrite the code.
Okay, so I got it, and I need to specify it's not going to do it and automatically. So I just cancelled. Let's see. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna say it. Let me enhance the skill. If the script is already in the copy path, and yeah, so skills, what I did, bro. So load to Snowflake. Oh god, it's there. Then use it to load. Okay, now it's going to analyze it and it's going to do what I'm expecting. Let's close it first. It's not needed. So yeah, it's there. Why? Great. Reload skill. Let's see. And load the data to Snowflake. And yeah, let's see. I have placed a new file in data folder. Can you load it? I won't tell you it is Snowflake or something. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, it's doing list file in data folder. Crunching, wearing. I see you have the customer database file was just added. Let me load these two Snowflake using the load Snowflake skill. Check for existing scripts. Reload data to Snowflake. So it will read the code. Perfect, I found existing script. Let me activate the virtual environment and run it to load your CSV file to Snowflake. Fast CSV. Okay, great. Everything is going good so far. Let's see. Great. Going great, everything. Let's see if it is gonna load both file. It can detect like which one is the correct one, and you can see the metadata. Based on that you can decide like when the file placed, and you can see like if it is latest one or not. You can process like when processed file you can check. Okay. It loaded both. Let me see. What is the data? Customers contains index. Okay, great. Index both contains index. If I will tell it, let's see log. So you can say today's log. Still, it's not good. But let's proceed with it. I would not want to consume an extra tokens, you can say. And let's see. I think I need to log in it again. No worries, not no worries. No angels here. Angels. Okay, this is not the t-shirt to wear. What? I feel thirsty. I feel thirsty or I am thirsty? I am thirsty, yeah. It might be because, you know why? Could be a reason like I'm just talking, that's why maybe my eyes are red or what. Forget about it, bro. So we are going to see the tables. You can see 2 lakh rows there. It appended just. So we are not going into details like how it is doing and all. Okay, great. So now we are going to create another, and we'll say if there is any relation, then I will ask it. But let's not make it complex, because here I don't see any customer who bought the product. No, is there any product ID? We can see history, right? Index, stock. No, it's not there. No problem. We'll say like okay, give us the okay. Let's say customer standard. I hope it is the file name. So customer ID. We have customer ID, product ID, or what? Okay, let's say we'll create one more skill and then we'll jump into another topic. So here we go. Okay, I need to create another skill. Key KPI. I never created KPI. So let's say okay. I like okay, it is working. So great. So let's create one more skill and it will say build KPIs. So first thing will be we are going to create skill.md and we are going to copy everything from here that required, not everything. So we are going to give the name should not match the folder name. Oh, okay. So it's build KPIs. Great. Description. Build the useful, I will say useful KPIs to analyze the product. Okay. I'm giving it products. Let's see how it's going to do it. Choose the virtual environment. So I will say, and this time I'm gonna little simpler words I will use. So simple, and the root folder contains dot pnv virtual environment. Use that to run or install packages and it is being created using UV. Okay, so this is that. Then step 2, step 2 will be analyze the data for particular request. Get the entity requested by user to create create KPIs, to build the KPIs and okay, and check it in Snowflake. If table exists, and load it. I'm just expecting it to do it by just checking load to Snowflake and automatically create a script. If I'm gonna first say it like will it automatically check the environment, and it's going to fetch the Snowflake and going to create connection and table exists. Okay, check it in Snowflake. If the table exists for that entity, then analyze the possible and the possible KPIs. And let's see, step 3, build the KPIs. After analyzing the data, if available in step 2, build the KPIs using Python and create a dashboard. I don't know how many tokens. Create a dashboard in Python using matplotlib. Best library to build KPIs in Python. Actually, Streamlit. Oh, okay. So I will do it like maybe let's see it. Streamlit. It will be a little heavy for it. I don't know. Let's see how it's going to do it. No problem. We are here learning, right? Step 4. How we are doing? Okay, I'll say create the Python script inside you can say dot slash scripts. I'm just expecting it to create in the same directory where skill is present and create one more. Yeah, let's see if it is smart enough. I'm just testing its smartness. So okay, step 4. Add the what we kept logs logging. Make sure add the useful logging in the folder. In the folder /logs with file in each run contains table used and KPIs created, etc. So let's see. Are you ready for it? I hope you are ready and we are going to do it something great. Okay, here we'll keep the analyze the ANTITY. Entity. Build the useful KPIs to analyze the entity. So now I'm going to say it like reload skills. Okay, when 15 skills are available. Why 15? I kept 2 only. I think these are internal tools are other one /skills. Okay, it's not available in this environment, you can say. So we are going to say, can you build the KPIs for product? Let's see. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. Skill automatically. Can you build the KPI for product? I will help you to build KPI for. Let me invoke the build KPI skills to create. Wow, everything is going good so far. Oh, okay. The problem I got it. Here it's going to create it. This. So we are in the Claude code, and Claude code is our the root folder. So everything it's going to treat from that particular location. I got it. Okay, so we need to specify. So no problem, we are learning something new. I thought maybe it will consider from this. So let's say what we kept here. Okay. Let's do it. Copy path, and we'll do it one time here. It will take from here skills KPI scripts, and also what else. So same is going to be happen with this as well. Same is applicable to this as well. But yeah, Claude code, skills build KPI logs. God, they should give us free. Our companies should come up to give us free. And yeah, it's for developers. It's very difficult to expand that. We want to learn new things. Definitely, I'm very curious to know. I want to experiment a lot of things from here. In this application, in this Claude code, but I feel like okay, somewhere in my mind is going like, what if it will cost a lot of dollars, maybe $2-3? It's too much for me. Even then, I'm just planning to learn everything in $10 only. That is also even if someone will ask me spend on course, I'm thinking twice. I can buy two courses at least, Udemy courses. So I'm not a stingy person. I'm not a stingy person. But still, like when I'm paying something that is, though it's relevant, but I still feel like okay, you are spending money unnecessarily. Why will I go with the proprietary software? I will try out, test out in locally with the open source tools, but they are not that capable to handle this kind of complex task. As per my knowledge, too. By the way, it's Heroku, so it's a simple one. Not say Heroku. Oh God, why I'm saying Heroku every time? Haiku. They will be. So let's see. Can you build KPI for product? Can you build? I will start new session. No problem. Let's close it. Can you build KPIs for products? Let's see. I was thinking like, oh God, how many tokens it? I'm so sorry. I don't know. It's not doing manually, right? It's not taking tokens every time. Otherwise, it's still singular. Allow this base command mkd active parent. It's going to create skills, build KPIs, and then scripts and logs. Okay, it's creating both. Yes. So it created two folders, logs and shows PNV pin this in the file, shows imported time. Okay, great. It is getting everything from Snowflake credentials. Wow, great, bro. Everything is going great. I think they are keeping context somewhere. Always they keep it. That's why they know, and that's why it knows like how we did in the past. It will start cold, then also it will try to find out because what is the meaning of smartness? Yes. So it created one script for me. Let's see. Hey, what one problem here? Will it going to create another file for products? Like I asked it to create for products. Let's see. Source when we've been included grep. Stimulate plotting. Sync to oh god. Just wait, and it's for products only, right? What? Let's see scripts meanwhile. Still, it's not. Let's see first what it built. I'm just blindly doing something or what? Alright, so let's run it. So what I'll do, card code is already activated. So it's not working. I mean, path is not able to detect it some way. How? First thing is my mistake. I'm not clearly specifying it. But I specified. Snowflake. Okay, so let's time to reshape this skill. I mean, it's not working perfectly. Okay, I think it's not good yet. So first thing is step one: build the useful KPIs to analyze the entities. Choose the word virtual environment. The root folder contains .env, .venv. Use that to run or install packages, and it is being created using UV. Package manager. And we want to use no problem. Streamlit, bro. Wait, just I'm watching English content, whatever. I'm watching everything. But okay, point 22, and just I'm expecting. I will do it, and then we'll go for. I will go through the video. I'm targeting 2 o'clock, 2 to 3. I mean 1 hour, but 1 hour won't be enough for MCP, covering one MCP. It's almost 4 hours, but no problem. We'll take 2 days time maybe. So class choose the virtual environment. The root folder contains .venv. Use that to run install packages, and it is being created using analyze the data for particular entity request. For requested entity. Connect to Snowflake and check if the table exists for entity. If show, if not, then stop it here itself, else go and check the table and analyze the possible KPIs that will help business user build the KPIs using Python, Streamlit, and use the table as data source and side. If script already there, then in inside then use it directly and make sure the same script can be used for different entities. Okay, let's see how it's going to do it. I want generic one. Let's see. I'm an expert in experiments. If it will come. And why I'm using clear. Reload skills. I don't know if it will. Let's create one more session and let's drop it. Will there be any cost associated with it? Show models. $1 for 1 million token input for per million models. Yeah, $1 and $5 for per million token. Okay, so let's say create KPIs for products. Okay, it's still taking the old one. Now it will think it's let me fix the data path in the script. What it is going to do? Let's see. Still not taking. I think it is using load to Snowflake. But no problem. Let's see. What is there, bro? I don't see anything on. Are you ready? Oh what, it's not working. Let me see how many tokens I have spent. Word dollar is about to finish. 0.89. I mean, I'm not getting any productive output from it. What I was expecting. I think first thing I need to build the KPIs using Python and use the entity table as a data source. For entity. If not, then stop it here itself. Let's check the table. Snowflake table and analyze the possible KPIs for the entity that will help business user build the KPIs using Python and use the Snowflake table as a data source and create the Python script inside. If not there, okay, let me say build KPIs for the customer. This time if it's going to work, I will stop it here and we are going to jump. I mean, it's taking time, right? I haven't refreshed other things. Uh, by the way, command is there. Wow, great. Let me go through the notes what I created so far. It will help me now. I'm using now for the first time. Like people used to speak when they are speaking in English, they used to use like and you know that now. Uh, okay, let's say it's going to create. I mean, it's creating every time new skill. Oh, this time this is very bad. It's more bad compared to what it was earlier. Still, it's taking hallucinating. I mean, yeah, it's not working. By the way, let's close it here. I will experiment a lot more from it, but right now it's not going in the right direction, so I need to stop it. By the way, let's jump into the MCP. Model context.
You will literally build.
I mean, I'm feeling just my. I won't go out. I mean, I need to finish it, the complete course. I'll go after 3. So 1.5 hour, you can say 1 hour 20 minutes. No, 60 plus 20, 80 minutes I have to spend.
Build a MCP hub to host multiple MCP servers so that you can easily communicate with that. And the best part, you will learn what to teach this 4 hours long MCP masterclass will teach you everything that you need to know from scratch, including problems solved by MCP servers, MCP layers, and MCP types,
Will I be able to
STDIO
create
versus
MCP?
streamable HTTP MCPs, creating your own MCP server from scratch.
I'm pretty curious to create my own MCP and use it. I mean, call it using the Claude. This is one thing that will be pretty interesting. So local MCP and creating your own MCP. Yes, it will link two things together. And if you know, he taught us that like local creating using Node.js. If you can create, then it will use npx, and if you are using Python, then UVX, something like that. And if we are if we are using local, then it is connecting via it is communicating via STDIO, standard input output. But if you are using remote MCP server, then it is communicating via HTTPS, hypertext hypertext transfer protocol secured. Okay, so you know one thing, I still don't know how the internet is working in the perfect sense. I mean, I know basics, but I want to deep dive into it. And for it, I just wanted to. I need to deep dive into it. For example, every bite of it, I tried so many times, but I'm forgetting it. I'm not getting it perfectly. And for it now, I'm planning like maybe this weekend I'll deep dive and then I'll create one video on it. I mean, how things are working. I will tell you in simplest terms, or I will tell you everything. But first, let me learn. As I feel like okay, I need to explain it to like if I'll explain it and if I will explain it perfectly, then that means my concept is clear. I can explain it. Otherwise, it's like I'm not still somewhere lacking. By the way, forget about that, and let's do one thing. That is, we need to create new notes. Claude by Jens Lama, and it's MCP by Jens Lama. You can say NCP, MCP. And let me change the code color.
Integrating MCP servers in the code, MCP inspectors for debugging, UVX and NPX based MCP servers, third party MCP service providers. And not just this, you will literally build a MCP hub to host multiple MCP servers so that you can easily communicate with that. And the best part, you will learn how to deploy your MCP servers to production so that anyone can use it. And my favorite, you will learn all of the complex concepts with ease because I will be explaining everything using amazing hand-drawn doodles with hands-on labs where you will write a lot of code, and the entire course is structured in the form of chapters so that you can grow step by step. And yes,
Great,
all
man.
of the
You are
notes
providing
and
great
code examples are
content. He's doing
provided
a
with
lot
this
of-
video.
he's
In short,
putting
you
lot
will
of
start
effort
this
to-
masterclass as a beginner
Especially if you
and
talk,
you will become a pro by end of this video.
Thanks,
and
man.
I'm serious. It takes a lot of efforts and hours to create these complete end-to-end masterclass.
And I just wanted to say him thanks. But I can't from here this.
Classes and providing it for free. So if you want to support this channel, simply hit the subscribe button right now and let's get started with this amazing
Why is
masterclass.
creating this?
Oh, what's up, my AI data fam?
Some
Happy
sparkle
Sunday! And
or
finally,
rays
MCP
are coming out of
Masterclass
eyes.
Model Context Protocol Masterclass is here after getting so many requests. Because see, I know the importance of MCP and I know why you were just asking for MCP because it is really important for developers. Very important. Because you
I
need
just wanted to see the logo. Isn't it looking like MCP? Just I wanted to draw it. Think like okay, I just wanted to see. Like I think it's a complete. Think like it is M, and then if you are talking, this part is like
to learn
C.
how to integrate
This part
MCPs
is
direct.
oh god, this part is C, looking like C, and then think like the last part is looking like P, so it's like MCP.
Into your code. And you also need to know how to build MCP servers, how to deploy MCP servers, how to just make it production ready. So everything needs to be covered, right? So that is why this masterclass is here finally. So now you do not need to worry at all because this masterclass has covered everything. And first thing first, I directly want to talk about the prerequisites. I have already talked about this in the intro that you do not need like AI knowledge at all. You just need basic Python programming knowledge and it will be more than enough because MCP is itself like a kind of new concept. So you do not need any kind of prior knowledge. Do not need to worry. If you know how to write functions in Python, you're good to it. Okay. And if you have some AI knowledge, then obviously it will be better. Okay. Now let's talk about the agenda, the detailed agenda that what exactly we're going to cover in this masterclass, so that you will have all of the clarity for this masterclass. So in this masterclass, first thing first, as I said that I will be just teaching everything from scratch. So first of all, I will just tell you about what is MCP and why do we need to use MCP because MCP just came like last year, so things were already working before MCP as well. So why do we need to integrate MCP and what is the advantage of it? Then we'll be just talking about MCP layers, which is very important, and then MCP types. These three chapters are purely based on the fundamentals and will build your strong foundation around MCP, which is very important for you. Then we'll be just talking about STD, IO transport layer of MCP, which is static input output. Then we'll be just talking about streamable HTTP MCP servers, which are more new and they are the recommended approach from now onwards. Then you will build your own MCP server and both the types, STDIO and streamable HTTP, both. Then you will learn how to integrate MCP servers within your code. Then you will learn how to fetch the hosted MCP servers and UVX and NPX, which is the heart of MCPs right now because we are using MCP servers from the community. So you need to know how to integrate those UVX and NPX models which are built by the community. Simple. Then MCP type 4. First of all, I will just tell you about what is MCP and why do we need to use MCP because MCP just came like last year. So things were already working before MCP as well. So why do we need to integrate MCP and what is the advantage of it? Then we'll be just talking about MCP layers, which is very important, and then MCP types. These three chapters are purely based on the fundamentals and will build your strong foundation around MCP, which is very, very important for you. Then we'll be just talking about STD, IO transport layer of MCP, which is standard input output. Then we'll be just talking about streamable HTTP MCP servers, which are more new and they are the recommended approach from now onwards. Then you will build your own MCP server and both the types, STDIO and streamable HTTP, both. Then you will learn how to integrate MCP servers within your code. Then you will learn how to fetch the hosted MCP servers and UVX and NPX, which is the heart of MCPs right now because we are using MCP servers from the community. So you need to know how to integrate those UVX and NPX models, which are built by the community. Simple. Then you will learn MCP Inspector, which is very good for debugging and just connecting your local MCP servers and hosted MCP servers, and it will just provide you a better UI. And then you will finally learn how to deploy your MCP server to PyPy, which is Python index, Python package index, where you can just literally make your MCP servers available. Okay. Then you can also explore about how to deploy MCP servers on Docker because when you just want to make it to the production, then obviously you just need to deploy on Docker so that you can just run it on any application using cloud, any services like render, so that you can actually make it available. So you will learn deployment in detail. Yes, this is like very detailed section. Then you will learn about a new concept, MCP gateway, and here you will learn how you can just create a hub kind of hub and kind of gateway so that you can just connect multiple MCP servers and you will just have one gateway. This is a very fun section and then much more because I've literally covered so much, literally covered everything about MCP servers that you need to know, and this will be a very detailed masterclass with hands-on obviously because you will be just doing a lot of coding in this particular masterclass. Simple, this is the agenda and I hope that even if you have some knowledge in MCP, I am so sure that you will learn a lot of things. Trust me. And if you do not know anything, then obviously this is a gold. This is pure gold for you. Okay. Now let me quickly congratulate my AI data fan who have literally recently cracked their dream offers. So please congratulate them with me. So say a long congratulations and I will just simply go to different slides. So congratulations to all of these people who have recently cracked the offers, and I literally feel happy whenever I just celebrate with them. So it's really good. So very congratulations and yes. So this is me, and let's get started with our masterclass on MCP. Simple, let's do it. So now, first of all, I want to ask a very simple question. What was the scene before MCP? And do you know why this question is so important? Because this MCP is literally very new. Yes, very, very new. But how things were working?
As per my understanding, before MCP, there wasn't any standard protocol or standard way to connect LLM with external tools. Now, so like companies were building their, like for example, ChatGPT had built their own set of tools to connect to the outer external world or external resources, external tools, or maybe they created their tools to connect to the external things, and in the similar way other companies were created. But the problem was, suppose if you wanted to create your own tool, or maybe a company wanted to create their tools and they want to deploy and they want to use those tools, or they want to expose them, so that maybe okay, so what I'm thinking, like, so that these tools can be used by you can think of like what we can say, so that these tools can be used by different, what do we say, different LLM models. Yeah, so that's my understanding about it. I mean, yeah, if we talk about it, so I think that's the main reason they want to. Okay, so I think it is created by Anthropic, what he said in the previous video. So based on my knowledge, it's like they created a unified protocol so that everyone or anyone can build the tool and they can leverage those tools into the by LLM.
Before MCP, you need to understand this thing, and then you will understand the pain points, and then you will understand the role of MCP and why today MCP is such a big deal. Okay, so first of all, let's say before MCP, simple. And I think MCP is just introduced. I think MCP is introduced by none other than your favorite Claude Anthropic. So yeah, it was started with that particular you can say solution that Anthropic built, and then they just renamed it as like MCP, and then obviously it was widely adapted, and that's why you are also learning it right now. Simple. So let's say what exactly the scenario was before MCP. Okay, let's see. So first of all, let's say you are a developer and you were required to integrate obviously services. It can be API. It can in most of the cases it was like API, even if you're just using a product. So let's say you are a developer. Let's call you, and let's say your name is Rahul, or let's say this developer's name is Rahul, and this developer is actually using services. It can be a database, hosted database somewhere. Let's say Postgre. Okay, hosted one, which can be let's say a kind of any database that you're using, and it can be let's say a kind of API or any search API. I would say that you can just use. It can be literally anything. Okay, it can be anything. So you can just imagine like database, or it can be like data lake, any service provided. Okay, simple. Now let's say you are using this particular. Okay. Oh, let's take the example of Oracle because Oracle is a very popular you can say database that you use with APIs. Yes, let's use this one. Oracle. So let's say you were using Oracle and you were using their built-in API routes, because obviously whenever you just want to talk to any Oracle database, not in all scenarios, but in most of the scenarios, you will talk via API. Simple. You talk via API. Perfect. So if you are a developer, most probably you will be using Python. Why? Why Python? Because we in the data domain love Python. Python is our favorite language, so we use Python. So let's say you are using Python, and by the way, you can use any programming language. We are taking the example of Python. Okay. Python example. Very good. Now this can be any client, but let's take the example of Python. Okay. So let's say you are the developer and you are building some solution using this particular Oracle database, and you want to utilize all the endpoints that are available with this database. Let's say there is an endpoint, API endpoints. Okay. API endpoints, and you are, let's say, fetching data. Let's say create. Okay. Let's say there's an endpoint called create, or let's say there's a v1. Usually they just keep writing this thing v1 something. Or let's say Oracle. Okay, Oracle v1 create, and then they have one endpoint. Let's say Oracle v1 query. Okay, and then they have Oracle v1, and then they will have, let's say, a kind of delete. Okay, let's say update. So these are some of the endpoints which are connected with this particular database. Makes sense. So that whenever you want to just talk to this database, you will be calling these APIs. Makes sense. Okay. So you are actually calling these APIs in order to talk to this database. So let's keep this API in front, and this is the database. Perfect. This is our scenario. Now what will happen? You are just creating a client and you are a programmer, so obviously you can just write code and you can directly build the logic to fetch the data. So this will be your own logic. It can be obviously a Python function where you are creating a client first of all with token, JWT, user ID, password, basic authentication, whatever authentication type you are picking. So you will write a function, right? So you will create your own logic to connect to this particular database, basically API, and then only you will be able to fetch this particular data. Is this clear? Perfect. Now, this is fine for this particular database. It's fine. So this was a way that we were using before MCP, and first of all, MCP is relatively new. I'm repeating this thing. So this is a solution which is widely adapted now and being adapted now. But yes, in most of the organization, we also use the functions as well. So do not just shout, "Hey, we still use this thing. Why can you just say? How can you just say that this is replaced?" No. But in near future, MCP will be the standard because this is the standard right now as well. So you were writing your own logic to connect to these APIs. That is fine. That was working absolutely fine because this is the source of truth. These APIs will be there. These APIs, yes, will be there. You cannot touch this API. You cannot just say, "Hey, just remove these APIs." No, APIs are still there. But now the problem is, let's say this Oracle provider, Oracle service provider, change this API. Let's say they just change this V1 to V2. Oh, this is code breaking thing, right? Yes, for sure. Very good. Pain point number one. This is just one. Keep on just noting down because we just need to just write everything. Okay. So pain point. Let me write here. API URL change. And it's a very common thing. Let me just tell you, very common thing. Okay, in every 1 to 2 to 3 years, they will just change the API version. I'm so sure. I'm so sure. And this is like very common with every service provider. So this is one thing. Okay, so let's say V2. This is like one pain point, and let me just mark it as well. So this is the first thing that we have just discussed. Okay, cool. So this is first thing. Now, forget about API URLs. Let's say, okay, we will just handle this thing, we'll just create a variable for this, and every time, okay, we will hire someone, and that person will keep on looking at this particular URL on a daily basis, and the person will change this thing. Okay, we can handle it. But now, just tell me one thing. Whatever thing which is written inside the create, like the response, the form of response that I'm getting from this create API, basically create API URL, can also change. The inner working of this API can also change. Makes sense. And I have to modify my logic accordingly. Simple. Because first of all, this API, okay? And then obviously, whenever you build any API, if you know how to build an API, you know that API is what? API is just, you can say, a kind of URI for your function that you have just written in your application, right? So you can just change the code as well for that application. And if you change the code written whenever you put your create now, then that person will keep now. And this is like very common with every service provider. So this is one thing, okay? So let's say V2, this is like one pain point, and let me just mark it as well. Okay. So this is the first thing that we have just discussed. Okay, cool. So this is first thing. Now, forget about API URLs. Let's say, okay, we will just handle this thing, we will just create a variable for this, and every time, okay, we will hire someone, and that person will keep on looking at this particular URL on a daily basis, and the person will change the thing. Okay, we can handle it. But now, just tell me one thing. Whatever thing which is written inside the create, like the response, the form of response that I'm getting from this create API, basically create API URL, can also change. The inner working of this API can also change. Makes sense. And I have to modify the logic accordingly. Simple. Because first of all, this API, okay? And then obviously, whenever you build any API, if you know how to build an API, you know that API is what? API is just, you can say, a kind of URI for your function that you have just written in your application, right? So you can just change the code as well for that application. And if you change the code written within, you can say, your API, then obviously you might need to update this logic as well. Why? Because you do not know what is changed, then you just go to the documentation and then you just make your response accordingly.
Yeah, response.
Okay, this is another thing. So I can say that API logic change. Okay. And now the main thing, okay, because this API logic change, I would still assume that it is not a big deal. To some extent, it is not a big deal because yes, usually all of the application service providers, they handle this response very nicely because they do not change the metadata very often. But still, I will just count it as a lag. But this is not a very big deal. Okay. The biggest big deal is this one. Let's say you are using this particular service. Okay. But in the real world, I will not be just using this Oracle API. I might be using, let's say, one more service this time. And this time, let's say I'm picking Azure. Do I have Azure logo?
No, it's there.
Let's pick this one. Okay. Let's pick this one. This is for Azure. So let's say, no, this is not Azure. Let me just pick Azure. I think I have one for Azure. No? Okay, no worries. Let's take this one. This is like an national service that we use a lot, data engineers. Okay, let's say you are using this service. This is the kind of, you can say, if you do not know what this thing, don't worry. This is the kind of Azure service. This is the kind of end-to-end analytics platform where we build pipelines, where we just transform our data, and we use a lot of service with the API. So whenever we want to, let's say, write our own custom automation script, we use a lot of APIs which are provided by Synapse, similar to Oracle database. Okay, that's what we intro to Synapse. Very good. So similarly, I can use this Synapse as well, create, query, update, because this is a kind of data warehouse. Simple. So now, tell me one thing. I will obviously write my logic for this one. That is for sure. Yes, that is for sure. But this time, you know what? What is that particular thing which is even more messy? I need to write my logic, obviously, but this time I also need to write the logic to connect to this database. Obviously, so I need to create a different connection with this Oracle database, which will be totally different from this Synapse Analytics. Makes sense? Makes sense. So this time I have one more pane that I have to create this entire logic. This entire logic again. Okay? And in this logic, I have to write the connection details as well. Okay? Different connection code for each service. Makes sense? And this is a very basic thing. We always create a connection, client connection to these API servers. Simple. So every time I'm adding a new service, I have to first of all write a totally different code to just to connect to these services. This is a big pain, especially in the agentic era. Why? Because whenever we are building agentic workflows, we need to integrate almost I would say at least 50 or maybe even hundreds of tools to our AI agent. So let's say not even 100, at least 50, 20. So who will be just monitoring these changes? Who will just keep on going to the documentation and fetching the updated details? We cannot handle that. Or the teams who are building agents cannot handle that. Teams who are building agentic workflows cannot handle that because their operation cost will be very, very high, and these things will not be very compatible with those who do not know how to change the code, because obviously AI is for everyone. So then we were introduced with a concept called MCP. Yes, let's talk about MCP now. You have got the taste why we are just suffering in this particular mess. Okay, now let's see the solution. Let's see the solution. The solution is very simple. MCP is the solution, which is also called as Model Context Protocol. First of all, very scary name, but it's very simple. Forget about this MCP. Let me just introduce you with the solution before talking about MCP. Okay, forget about this model context protocol. I don't know what is this thing. Forget about this. So let's say I have the similar scenario. I have these two services. Very good. Okay, and we have the same Rahul because we love Rahul and Rahul is a great developer. So let's call him. Okay, bro, we need you. So now this Rahul wants to build a solution, right? We are not replacing him because he's AI proof. He's our favorite developer. So let's say now what will happen? I will say, is there any way that I can connect to? Okay, because we need to just talk about all the pain points that we just face whenever we just talk about these particular changes, and there are more things as well. But let's talk about these topics. Is there any way that if this organization changes any URL, they will handle that? No, they will handle that. How? You will say they will not change the URL. That is not possible. They will change the URL. They will change the versions of the API. That is not possible. But is it possible that they will handle those changes? Okay, they will not call you, hey bro, this URL is changed. Can you please update your code? Obviously, this will not happen. So how we can just take care of the thing? Let me just tell you. So now what will happen? This is their API. This is source of truth. They will not change this thing, but they will now introduce one. Or let's talk about first for one service. Then we can start the same. So what will happen this time? Now this Oracle will build a special thing here in front of their API. Okay, okay, and this is called yes, MCP server. Okay, now they will build a kind of protection wall, and this wall is called MCP server. Okay. What is server? See, server is what a kind of machine which is running application. Simple. Okay. So this is MCP server they have built. So what they have done in this MCP server? Let me just tell you. They have literally created functions for you. So let's say this is the first function. Okay. For create. Second function for query. Third function for update. Fourth function for delete. Fifth function for insert. Whatever. So they have created these functions for each API. Okay. Are you getting the point? See, let's say this is the function which is mapped with this API. This function is let's say mapped with this API. This function is let's say mapped with this API. Oh, so they have created these MCP functions. Okay. Okay. Now what will happen? Now I can literally connect to this MCP directly. Oh, I can connect to this MCP directly. Now I don't need to write my logic to connect to this API, which is Oracle database. Not at all. And because I'm not writing any logic, I don't need to worry about the API URL. Yes. I don't need to worry about any kind of API logic change, any metadata, because this function will handle that. So let me just write function. Okay. Just a Python function, bro. Nothing fancy. This is also called a wrapper function, which does what? The same thing that you were doing. Just tell me one thing, this all logic is what? You are building a Python function, a wrapper on top of this API, right? You are just creating a connection, you are calling the API, you are getting the response back. But here, these functions are created by the service providers. And what these functions will do? Nothing special. They will simply point these functions to these APIs. They will simply say, hey, just call this API, get the response, and deliver the response back to my Rahul. Simple. Oh, so now because I do not need to worry about this API change, they can change the API and they will change the function logic within the MCP server. I do not need to worry about any change. I will literally connect to this MCP easily. Wow. Same way, my Synapse will do, obviously. This Synapse Analytics will do this thing for me. Okay. Simple. Makes sense. So they will have their own function on MCP server. Let's say like this. Okay. And now you can just connect to this MCP. Same way. Oh, okay. Now let's say one thing. Is this problem solved? Both the output problems are solved. But what about different connection? Ansh Lamba, do you know what? Yes, they have MCP server. Yes, we do not need to worry about URLs. Yes, we do not need to worry about any changes, any code break changes. But Ansh Lamba, we are still using two different MCP servers. If you see 1, 2. So obviously the connection will be different for both. Fair point. Very fair point. But you know what? That is the real power or biggest power of MCP. What? See, now you do not need to connect to this MCP differently than this MCP. What do you mean? So let me just unpack the real power. So I will not directly connect to this MCP like this. Okay. So there is a configuration. Configuration means a kind of property that we just set in the form of JSON. Okay. So I will create a JSON file, or I can just create a JSON object. Okay. And in this JSON object, I can say that I want to connect to this MCP. What is the name of this MCP? Let's say Oracle Database MCP. This is the name of this MCP. Put the name of this MCP. That's it. This will automatically connect my MCP to this one. What? Yes.
How?
Let's say now I want to connect my client to this MCP. What is the name of this MCP? Synapse MCP database. Okay, just write the name and done. What?
But how,
Yes,
bro?
you literally create this particular JSON. Wow, literally wow. This JSON is also called as USB-C port. Why? Why? Let me tell you. Let's say you are using your laptop or you are using a personal computer. Okay. You have keyboard, obviously. You have mouse, obviously.
Yeah.
What obviously? Do you get these things like automatically? If you're using a laptop, obviously you will get it. But let's say you are just using a personal computer, you will not get it. You will connect it. How will you connect it? How will you connect it? You will attach a cable. And what is the port of that cable? USB-C. Okay, perfect. Now let's think about it. If USB-C port was not there, and let's say every device would have their own cable to insert. For example, let's say if you want to insert a mouse, there would be a different cable. Now these people are shouting, hey, we are using wireless mouse. Bro, you still need to connect that particular plugin. Okay. So let's say you just need to connect mouse. You would be using different cable if USB-C didn't exist. If let's say you want to connect, let's say webcam. They have a special, let's say, square type cable. Then you just need to insert that. Let's say you want to connect what do you want to connect? Let's say you want to connect headsets. There would be a different cable. So if that would be the scenario, and this was a scenario by the way, before USB-C, if this was a scenario, obviously our computer creator would be mad just to create different cable types. Your computer, your laptop would be full of holes, obviously. But then a smart man came to the picture. He said, or let's say a smart woman came to the picture, and she said, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to connect keyboard? Okay. You want to connect mouse? Okay. You want to connect webcam? Okay. Let's use a standard USB-C port and let's just create only one type of hole in the laptop or machine and let users insert whatever they want. This is the same concept. This is a USB-C port for your MCP server. If let's say I want to integrate this particular MCP, this particular API set of APIs, I do not need to write a different connection logic. I will just use USB-C port. I will plug in simple, and I will just plug in the same, or basically different MCP, but with same configuration. Simple. This is MCP. This is MCP. This is the concept of MCP. Now, obviously, in your system, in your laptop, in your computer, you would have just 2 to 3 USB-C ports. But here in our coding, we can just plug in unlimited objects using USB-C port. Okay. And I think if you would have explored the world, okay, you would also got to know about a kind of, you can say, connector where you insert only one USB-C port and you get multiple, you can say, holes, and you get like multiple options to insert it. So it's a kind of it's called like something extension something. Yeah, I think by extension. So it is also kind of hack that you can just use for your laptop. But here we don't need to do anything like that because we can just insert n numbers of USB-C ports. We have a lot of ports, okay, in our Python client. I hope it makes sense. What is exactly an MCP? Now, these MCP servers are maintained and built by these service providers. You do not need to create these things, but you still need to create some. Why? Because when we just work in the real world, we customize MCP a lot. And in some cases, or I would say in many cases, organizations build their own MCP servers as well so that entire organization can use it. Wow, yes. Because obviously Oracle would have their MCP, Synapse would will have their MCP. That is fine for development, yes. But sometimes when we are building the solution for the entire enterprise, which is a very common thing right now in the AI era, then we build the MCP server for the entire organization so that they can use it internally and they can just take leverage of it. So this is called self-hosted MCP. We are building it. So it is equally important, first of all, learn how to use these MCPs. Second, how to build your own MCPs. And third, the most important, how to deploy MCP servers. And yes, we will be talking about everything here. But first, I wanted you to have a very strong, crystal clear understanding what is MCP. Because you know what? And let me just share my experience as well. I am being transparent with you. Okay. When I was learning MCP, I was literally confused at this point that why do we need MCP when I have these custom logics I can just make API calls? Why? But then I got to know this thing. Oh, okay. This is the pain point. This is the pain point. And it is not a replaceable thing. It is actually a thing which is improving your proficiency, your efficiency. Because you can still write this code. No one is stopping you. No one can stop you because these APIs will not go anywhere. These APIs will stay there because this is the source of truth. But instead of just writing different logic every time, you can integrate MCP. This is the entire concept of MCP. And you know what? This JSON is everything. You literally need to tell the name of name of the MCP server, and obviously with the configuration that they provide, like URL, that's it. It is just like 1 to 2 to 3 lines of code, and that is it. And I think if you're learning this MCP masterclass, obviously that you would have seen MCP configuration somewhere, but now you will master it. Okay. So this is your MCP. Understanding MCP. I wanted your fundamental to be very, very strong. First of all, like what is MCP? Because then only I can just tell you that components of MCP and what are the types of MCP, and then how to just create an MCP. First, you need to understand why MCP. Why is very important. Okay, so I hope now you have a very good understanding. Very good, bro. Rahul, thank you so much. Okay, so now let's see the official documentation of MCP. Let's see what do we have there, and then I can just start with obviously the next section, and then we are good. Because I want to just refer to the documentation sideways, so that you will also have the source of truth along with you. Okay, because obviously I'm not the expert. Okay, I'm not the person who knows everything. I can also make mistakes. Okay, I'm also learning with you, but I just want you to know what I know, and then you can obviously improve me as well. You can just help me as well. That is fine. And that is the backbone of building the community. And that's it. I'm not just portraying myself as an expert. Not at all. I'm still a learner. I do not know anything, bro. As compared to. So let's say, let's go to MCP documentation, and they are actually maintained a very good documentation, and this MCP is built by Anthropic, so good job. So let's see, this is the, I think, official documentation, yeah, model context protocol.io, you can also go there, simple, so perfect, and obviously you can just pick your theme, I'll pick last thing. There you go. So this documentation, again, I'm reading very good documentation. You should also go there just to read something. Okay. And first of all, let me just tell like what is MCP. MCP is an open source standard for connecting AI applications to external systems. Using MCP, AI applications like Claude, ChatGPT can connect to data sources, local databases, blah, blah, blah. So let me just explain. This is the main thing. So this is the MCP standard protocol, and these are all of your services. So we took example of PostgreSQL or databases. It can be GitHub or anything. It can be Google Maps, any service provider basically. Simple. And these are the clients. We will just talk about client one. I'm just simply giving you a very high level overview. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, so now it is saying what can MCP enable? Agent can access your Google Calendar, Notion, acting as a more personalized AI assistant. Claude Code can generate an entire, they're just promoting Claude Code, so we don't need to promote. Simple. So why does MCP matter? Okay, this is good. Developing on where you sit in the ecosystem, MCP can have a range of benefits. Developers, the main thing. Because we support developers. MCP reduces development time and complexity when building or integrated with an AI application agent. The same thing that I just discussed with you. Okay. And then obviously AI application agent. MCP provides access to an ecosystem of data sources, tools, apps, and everything. Okay, good. Then end users, MCP is remote capital. Okay, let me say one more thing. I think it's obvious, but still I want to express. One more pain point. Yes, when I just saw developers word, I was like, bro, let me tell one more thing. So whenever you're building anything, when you're developing anything, you would also see one pain point after even building a client. Even after building the client, you can still see some of the changes in the function names. If you have ever built any kind of client, you would see that earlier you were just using a different function name. Let's say the function name was get data, but then they just changed to fetch data. So they changed the function name as well. Make sense? So here I can literally write changing the function name. Changing function names. So now, why did I mention this thing? Because I want to tell you something more. So now here, let's say all of these functions that we have, like they have written, it's fine. So now, earlier when we were writing our function, or even they were having some function before as well, when we were connecting to these functions, let's say function 1, function 2, function 3, when we were just connecting to these functions, but not with MCP, just using directly the function API call. Then, if this function name is changed to let's say function 1 or function 2, then also we were just facing the issues. Okay? Because the function was updated. Function was pointing to this particular data, it's fine. But this function was actually breaking our code because of a new name. But this time, you know what? MCP also handles the renaming or the update of these functions. Now, MCP will automatically update these functions. What do I mean? You will understand this point later on. I know this thing, but still I want to highlight this. For example, let's try to explain you. Let's imagine that you will understand it. Because let's say you are just connecting your application with these MCPs. Simple. Earlier, when you connected your application with this MCP, you got three functions: create, update, query. Simple. You handed over these functions to your agent. Perfect. Now this time, the functions are renamed. Functions names are create, update data, and query. This time, because this function is automatically changed, your application will automatically get the updated names. You do not need to change anything because you simply get the function names out of MCP and that's it. That's it. You will understand this point when I will just bring the client. I will just show you. I will demonstrate this point in detail. Do not worry. Okay. So this is, I think, everything we need to see from this documentation. Okay, because we should just talk about our own notes better than this. So let me click on architecture because now I want to talk about MCP architecture, and there are basically three major components of MCP. Okay, so let's see if they have just mentioned it here. Component, yes, they have just mentioned it here. So they have mentioned that we have three major things: MCP host, MCP client, and MCP server. Okay, let's quickly talk about these things because you have already seen these things, but now you just need to, you can say, navigate through these things. Okay, so first of all, let's go to our notes. Okay, perfect. So do you know what?
Okay, let me note down everything first. This is Rahul, and this is Oracle database. API endpoint 1, API endpoint 2. Yeah, I think I need to take better name. API create a query update. Oracle V2. And why I'm writing again? When I can copy it right. Azure. changing script, function logic, now imagine you are connecting, oh god, connecting with multiple sources and it's a huge pain point. Solution, they they will build the MCP server for each service, and now you don't need to directly connect to the endpoints. Instead, just connect to the MCP server. Now, if they are changing logic, then they have to So let's take the same example again. Or now the problem is big. How will I copy it? Copy. I want to paste it. Okay, it's working. Perfect. It's there, it's there. Now we'll see instead what I'll do. I will move it to the. I mean, what I'm doing, you won't get it at least. So, there I'm just writing down whatever he explained. Free function, you will connect to this. JSON. Function. Okay.
Whatever you build here on this side, this is your MCP server. Okay. So let me just create a line. This is your MCP server. Which one? These ones. So this is actually MCP server. And you already know this. Simple. You already know this MCP server. Okay. Now, because we have this MCP server, where is our client? Where is our client? You will say, Anshulava, I think here is our client. Yes, this is our client. Now, where is our host? Client is fine, server is fine. Where is our host? First of all, understand what is host. Host is nothing but just an environment from where we have built a connection. Now, connection can be built from obviously client, and obviously connection will be built with MCP server. So, host is something from where we are building the connection. Make sense? So let me just explain again. So let's say you are using Python. Okay. Now Python is your client. Simple. Then what is your host? Python is your host.
Huh?
Yes, Python is your host. Let's say you are using Claude. Let's say you are using Claude. Or let's say you are using VS Code because nowadays VS Code is also kind of agentic IDE. VS Code is also your client. Oh, sorry, host. Really? Yes. It is also your host. Host is what? Host is literally your environment. Yes, and the biggest advantage of MCP is obviously you can integrate MCP in your programming language, which is Python. You can literally integrate MCP with your VS Code as well. Why? Because now VS Code supports agentic workflows. This is out of your scope of developing because you didn't develop VS Code. VS Code community or VS Code team made it available inside VS Code. Earlier it was not available. Earlier the cursor was the only IDE where we saw MCP integrations, but after that VS Code is VS Code. Why would like VS Code stay behind? So they also integrated MCPs, and now we just use MCPs inside our VS Code as well. So this is our client. Oh sorry, this is our client, and this is our host. Like inside the thing, we create a host like this. Let's say like this. Oh okay, simple. So this is our client. This inside one. This is our client. Perfect. And this is our host. So let's say this is our client and this is our host. Simple. These are like very basic things. First of all, just you can say jargon that we use, client or server. You're communicating a connection with your environment, and the server is obviously sitting at the application side, on the application side. Simple. And let me just remove this line because this is not required. We can simply understand the entire thing. This is architecture. Architecture is very simple. Like obviously how it talks to each other, that is a different thing. These components are very simple. Client server host, client server host, client server host. And this is actually written. This is a and so they own code, ES code as well. What and Gen2 art. Host is nothing but just an environment from where we have built a connection. Now connection can be built from Where is our host? Client is fine, server is fine. Where is our host? First of all, understand what is host. Host is nothing but just the environment from where we have built the connection. Now, connection can be built from obviously client, and obviously connection will be built with MCP server. So, host is something from where we are building the connection. Make sense? So, let me just explain again. So let's say you are using Python. Okay. Now, Python is your client. Simple. Then, what is your host? Python is your host. Yes, Python is your host. Let's say you are using Claude. Let's say you are using Claude. Or let's say you are using VS Code, because nowadays VS Code is also kind of agentic IDE. VS Code is also your client. Oh, sorry, host. Really? Yes. It is also your host. Host is what? Host is literally your environment. Yes, and the biggest advantage of MCP is obviously you can integrate MCP in your programming language, which is Python. You can literally integrate MCP with your VS Code as well. Why? Because now VS Code supports agentic workflows. This is out of your scope of developing, because you didn't develop VS Code. VS Code community or VS Code team made it available inside VS Code. Earlier it was not available. Earlier the cursor was the only IDE where we saw MCP integrations, but after that VS Code is VS Code. Why would like VS Code stay behind? So they also integrated MCPs, and now we just use MCPs inside our VS Code as well. So this is our client. Oh sorry, this is our client, and this is our host. Like inside this thing, we create a host like this. Let's say like this. Oh okay. Simple. So this is our client. This inside
I'm not getting this still.
this is our client. Perfect. And this is our host. So let's say this is our client and this is our host. Simple. These are like very basic things. First of all, just you can say jargon that we use, client or server. You're simply creating a connection with your environment, and the server is obviously sitting at the application side, on the application side. Simple. And let me just move this line because this is not required. We can simply understand the entire thing. This is architecture. Architecture is very simple. Like obviously how it talks to each other, that is a different thing. These components are very simple. Client server host, client server host, client server host. And this is the backbone of it. USB-C port. Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? I hope now you understand the entire thing about MCP, why do we need it, and what problem.
Let me ask you. Oh, it's better if I'll ask you. Hi. Funny. Can you help me in the host, server, and client in MCP? Since you are a data engineer and learning, oh man, why? Let's understand MCP using a practical analogy. MCP has three main components. Host. The host is the application that wants to use the AI capabilities. Example: ChatGPT desktop, Claude desktop, VS Code with an AI extension, your own AI chatbot application. Think of host as a manager coordinating everything. Its job is connect to MCP service, send request, receive response. Stool, ratios, and data. Worker that works, how to perform it. Kitchen example: imagine a restaurant. Host, restaurant manager. Okay, you know what? It is taking the same example that I used to teach when I'm teaching Python. It's taking the same example and telling me that's how the smartness show up. Okay. Client is equals to header. The header carries request between the manager and kitchen. If I built a script in Python to connect to MCP server and get the data, then host will be Python, right? And script will be yes, you are very close, but there is an important distinction. If you write a Python application that connects to MCP server, then your Python application equals to host. The MCP client library code inside your application client. The remote MCP service, MCP from MCP import client client. Chrome application, HTTP networking code inside Chrome, client, google.com server. Still not clear, still doubt on client and host. Give me more examples. Real and real example. This is one of the most confusing part of MCP because in many real applications the host and client are bundled together. Let's use several real world example. Example, web browser. Suppose you opened Chrome and visit Google. So Google will be server. Okay. You Chrome Google server. Chrome is the host, and the request that you send HTTP networking component inside Chrome client. Google server. You don't see the client separately because it is built into the Chrome. Example to ChatGPT plus GitHub MCP. ChatGPT plus GitHub MCP server. Okay, great. So ChatGPT application is the host, and the request that show me all repositories in my GitHub account. To ChatGPT desktop, that is host. GitHub MCP server. GitHub API. MCP connection layer inside ChatGPT client. GitHub MCP server equals to server. Okay. It's making little motions. Provides tool. VS Code. Suppose you install an extension in VS Code. Okay. Read all files in this project. VS Code MCP client, and it will do. VS Code will work as a MCP, like a MCP host, and the client will be the extension that will read the files, or you can say MCP extension connection will be client, file system MCP server. Your Python script. Host client, object client, multiple MCP servers. Imagine you build an AI agent, GitHub MCP server. So there will be multiple clients, but host will remain the same. That will be the agentic environment, you can say. My AI assistant is the host. GitHub connector client, Snowflake connector client, Jira connector client. Atlassian Jira connector. Okay. GitHub MCP server, Snowflake MCP server, Jira MCP server. The host can have multiple clients talking to multiple servers. The simplest way to identify them. Ask these questions. Who owns the user experience? Host. Example, ChatGPT, Claude, VS Code, your Python AI. Who sends MCP requests? Client. Client will take care. Our client will communicate with that particular. Okay, great. It makes sense now. MCP SDK connection. Who exposes tools or resources to? Okay, seems like pretty. And I'm literally the person who uses a lot more ChatGPT. how many records are in the customer user asks plain text user asks, and Snowflake MCP server, Snowflake database, it will connect to MCP client, your chatbot will be the environment, host, you can say. MCP SDK used by your chatbot client. Okay, got it, makes sense, perfect, got it.
Problems does it solve,
Thanks,
and what is
ChatGPT. I remember, like, in the past I watched a video. It was college student who was saying like, thank you tutorial point and all the resources. So if you remember, like in the past when internet was slow, especially in India, if we talk, then we used to um, download the file notes from tutorials point, and shout out to tutorial points. I don't know if people are still using that website that much, but earlier we used to use it a lot. I started learning Python from that particular notes only. I downloaded it and literally I printed it. That time internet was very slow, 2G and expensive, especially like you have to pay 100, 200 rupees to just get 1 GB of data, and that was like just in a blink of minutes it will be gone if you are using 3G. I'm talking about 3G. And nowadays it's pretty simple, right? So everything changed a lot.
exactly we can just do with MCP? Now let's dig deeper inside MCP. Okay. So now let's talk about the types of MCP servers. There are basically two types of MCP servers. Yes, let's talk about both. If I just go to the transport layer,
What are types of MCP servers? How much time I can? What is time right now, man? It's 2:35. I'm expecting 2 hours of video. Oh, bro, it's
here it is. So, by the way, there are two types of layer. We'll talk about layer after this, but we first need to talk about the MCP servers. Two types of MCP servers. Two types or more, you can say precisely, I can say, two different types of transport layer our MCP servers can use. Okay, what are these two layers or these two types? The first one is STDIO transport. What is this thing? Whenever you are executing your entire MCP server locally on your local machine using standard input-output process, then it will be called as STDIO transport. In this particular MCP server, or basically in this specific type of MCP server, you literally download the entire package. You download the entire MCP server, which is sitting here. You download it on your machine and you just do the work using standard input-output. Simple. This was a very popular choice, but with the rise in agentic AI workflows where we are just building so many applications, we want a solution that is more scalable and that can handle more number of requests as well, right? Because when you just download a package locally, only you can just create one client to talk to that particular server at a time, okay? But we need something that we use in our app development or basically web application development process. We always use a kind of protocol called HTTP, where we send authentication tokens in the headers, in the wherever you just want to send, okay, it can be very parameter, wherever. So we just want something like that. So for that particular purpose, more recently, I think just last year, they just introduced something called as streamable HTTP transport, where you can literally treat your MCP server like a normal GET request, POST request like this. And you can just send all of the authentication tokens, everything through that particular request. Because that is more scalable option. And that is the reason that nowadays you are seeing streamable HTTP requests or basically streamable HTTP MCP servers are, you can say, gaining more popularity. Why? Because this is actually a solution that you want. STDIO is good. STDIO is good. When you are developing something for you, or just a few people, just a few people. But when you just want to build a solution that will be used by so many people, then you have to build, or basically you have to use a streamable HTTP MCP server. You cannot rely on STDIO. Simple. Make sense? Okay. So these are the two MCP servers that we will be just exploring, and normally I will just tell both of these things because you know why. STDIO, yes, is a kind of behind as compared to streamable HTTP, but most of the MCP servers right now are still in the STDIO way of transporting. Why? Because when MCPs were new, the only way, or you can say the recommended way was STDIO, but now the recommended way is streamable HTTP. But we still use so many MCP servers that you would have seen in GitHub repos. We still use the STDIO ones. So we have to just know how we can just work with STDIO as well. Not because it is like legacy, it is not legacy at all. It will be relevant for future as well. But when you're building production applications, then you will also be using streamable HTTP more. Simple, very good. Now, what is this transport layer? Transport layer is basically the communication layer. How your client is communicating with the server. Your client, if your client is communicating to the server locally, then it is like STDIO transport layer. If your client is communicating with the server through HTTP request, then it is streamable HTTP transport. Simple. Simple. It is just the communication layer. And there is one more layer in the MCP server, which is called data layer. Remember that I just told you that we literally need to provide all of the things inside this JSON format? Remember? This is also a part of our data layer, where we define what exactly we need and what will be the requested thing. It can be a tool, it can be a prompt, it can be anything. It can be anything. So this is the layer. This is the layer that implements all of these things. Okay? It also handles your schema, what exactly you are sharing between the client and server. Simple. Okay? So this is your data layer and this is your transport layer. These are the two layers, and within the transport layer, we have two different types of MCP servers. Simple. This a little bit theory was important, this one, okay? Because when now I'm just showing you the demo, then I didn't want you to feel like, oh, what is STDIO? Oh, what is HTTP? Now you know the fundamentals. Now you know a little bit of theory. Now when I'm just building MCP servers, you will understand like what is this thing and why we are doing this thing. Okay. So now let's get started to create our MCP servers. Yes, because then only we will know more and more just to learn, just to practice, just practice. So I will need some, you can say, prerequisites. Yes, before building my MCP servers. So I will simply say MCP prerequisites. So first of all, you need a code editor. I would recommend downloading VS Code editor. If you cannot, you can pick any code editor, but VS Code is the better one. Okay, but you can just download anything, PyCharm or whatever. And you will need obviously Python installed on your system. I would expect these two things for sure. And yes, and one more thing. I will just download it for you. Don't worry. So the rest of the things we will just download it on the fly. But you need to download these two things, VS Code and Python. If you have these two things, you do not need anything else from the infrastructure point of view. Everything else is good because I will just download so many things, so many frameworks, so many packages, and you will also get to know how to do all these things. So if you have these two things, VS Code and Python, okay, then you can just get started with it. If you do not have, simply go to browser, simply search download VS Code. And scroll down, and then just search for 3.11 version older than 3.10. Then I would recommend you to upgrade it to, let's say, 3.1. I'll tell you, but 3.9 is not recommended. As you can see, this is disabled totally. So 3.11 is actually very good, very stable. 3.12 is also very stable, but I have seen some bugs with this one. But yeah, it is good. So you can literally download 3.10 or 3.11. Okay, simple. So I have opened my VS Code editor, and you can just also open yours. And here you just need to make sure that you have opened an empty folder. As you can see in my case, I have opened one empty folder called MCP master class. You can also open it by click here, file, click on open folder, and just pick any empty folder. If you do not have empty folder, simply create one. Simple. First thing first, you first need to create your virtual environment, Python virtual environment, because I do not want to do everything on my global Python environment. And this is an industry standard as well, where you create a virtual environment first before building anything. So simply open terminal and simply write, first of all, let's download UV. If you don't know about UV, UV is basically a Rust-based Python package manager, which is very fast as compared to pip. And I love using UV. You can also download it by just using pip command, pip install UV, hit enter. In my case, it is already downloaded, but in your case, it will be downloaded. Then you can also say UV version, and you will see the version of it. Simple, perfect. UV is an amazing command, and with just one command, it will automatically create my virtual environment. Okay, so I can say UV init, and by the way, if you're on Mac, you can say pip3 install UV just to download UV. Okay, so I'll say UV init, and this will initialize everything for me. As you can see, it has created some files, pyproject.toml, everything. This is the kind of npm init command that we just use with Node applications. And here I can say UV sync to create my virtual environment, and it will simply sync everything that I have in my pyproject.toml. If I just want to add any package, I can literally go in the toml file and I can write it here. And if I just say UV sync, it will automatically download all the packages in my virtual environment. But that is not a standard practice we do. We literally write UV add whatever package I want to add. If I want to add, let's say, any package, instead of writing pip install, you can say UV add. Simple. And with UV, you can even use pip commands as it is. If I want to say, let's say, pip install whatever, I can literally add UV before that and it will work fine. Yes. So it is really fast. So I will simply, first of all, I have the virtual environment. Very good. So in order to create MCP server, you need a special library called fast MCP. Okay. I know it sounds very similar to fast API, but yeah, fast MCP. So simply say UV add fast MCP and hit enter and it will simply download everything. So in order to create MCP server, you need a special library called fast MCP. Okay. I know it sounds very similar to fast API, but yeah, fast MCP. So simply say UV add fast MCP and hit enter and it will simply download everything. Okay. And if I just go to toml file now, you will see that it has automatically done this thing here as well. So that it keeps a track of everything. Simple. Good. And yeah. So one thing, I think it has installed my package in my global environment because I created the virtual environment, but I didn't activate it. But I think nothing is wrong. So I can just check. So in order to activate a virtual environment, there are two ways. You can literally open a new terminal and Visual Studio Code will automatically turn it on. If I just do it like this, let's say this is my new terminal, and you just need to wait, and you will see it will be automatically added after some time. Sometimes it takes longer than that. So you can also manually turn it on. How? Simply write .vnb scripts activate. If you are on Mac, you can just say .vnb, I think .bin, activate. Yeah. Just take the command, I think it is .bin and all. So simply hit enter and you will see my folder name. So that means now this is my virtual environment. Now if I write pip list just to see how many packages do I have. So I will see, do I have fast MCP? I don't. Yeah, I have. See, past JSON schema.
No.
Yeah, I think it has automatically downloaded here in my virtual environment instead of global environment. I can actually check my global environment. Let me just check. So I will simply go here and say pip list. Do I have? Let me just put it here. No, still I have a lot of packages and stuff. Okay. So I think we have fast MCP. I can literally type fast MCP just to see what will happen. Because if we have the package, it's good.
No.
Yes, we have. Use it
No.
fast MCP command, so it has done something. So very good. So we have this package in my
It could
virtual
be
environment
like
and global environment.
written
So when
from
our
the
virtual environment is created,
global
now
one.
what I will do, I will create my you can say MCP server. And how we can just do that? First of all, you would need to create a file.
Okay.
And let's create some factors so that you can just take notes. So first of all, I will say create MCP. Simple. And within this file, I will just create my first MCP server. It will be like very quick one and very simple one. So let me just create a file inside this. I will say first MCP server.py file. Let's say first. Okay, so this is my file. Very good. Now I just need to import a package called from MCP or from fast MCP. Import fast MCP. So this is the utility that we will be using to create our MCP server. Simple. And then I can just create the object. So I simply say MCP equals to fast MCP. If you have some experience with fast API, it is like very similar to that. We just create fast API dot fast app, and then we simply create the app equals to fast API. Very similar to that. But yeah. So now my MCP server instance is this one. Now I need to create the MCP server functions. If I just go back to my architecture, you would see that within this MCP server, I have the functions that I create. Right? So what I will do, I will create some functions, let's say def, and I want to create a function called, let's say, fetch. Okay, data fetch. And let's say I'm building this MCP server for my organization, and I just want to route this function to make an API call and do everything for me, basically for the users. So I'll simply say simulating the fetching data from a source, and I will return data equals to hello MCP. Okay. Obviously, you can literally write, you can just add some comments for your notes. You can make some API calls here or fetch data from database, and it will simply do the work for you. Simple, good. And in order to convert this function into an MCP function, or basically into a form of MCP tool, we use a special decorator called MCP.tool. Simple. So this is the function we need to just use. MCP.tool. Okay. Now you can just provide a name to this tool. Simple. You can simply fetch data, whatever, but usually you should just keep the name same because it will create unnecessary confusion like what exactly was there and what is the function name if we have this tool name. So you should never provide anything else. Okay. And the most important thing, this is the tool. Makes sense. But how my agentic workflow would know that I want to use this tool to fetch the data? That's where the concept of adding docstring into the picture. So what is a docstring? So we simply add some comments into the, you can say in the beginning of the function so that anyone can read it. This was a very generic practice for the data coding readability in the beginning, but then this became the most important thing for the LLMs to read the context of the functions. Because LLMs need context. Like I have this function, but why should I call this function? Because of this context. So I can say use this tool to fetch data from a source. Simple. You can make it more and more detailed as well because more the detailed the function is, better it will perform with AI agents. Obviously. Simple. Okay, use this tool, and this is my first tool that I have created. Let's say I want to create one more tool. I will simply say MCP dot tool, and this time I want to create, let's say, df process. Okay. Not process, you can just literally do anything. Okay, process and use this tool to process the fetch data. Okay, and then let's say data has been processed. So you can literally write any logic here because we are literally creating these functions. And these functions can just talk to any API, any package URL, and everything. Simple. Good. Now, these two tools are good, and I just want to create an MCP server for these two tools. Okay, how we can do that? Now, I am creating an stdio MCP server. Okay, stdio. So I can also write first MCP server and then stdio. Simple. That means this MCP server will be running local. Yes, we MCP server owners decide like what type of transformation we need to pick. Okay, we need to pick. So now I will simply go to my normal boilerplate thing. If not, if name, if response name equals to name, with this can also write this tuple and everything. Simple. Okay, and you can just literally post tool that I have created. Let's say I want to create one more tool. I will simply say MCP dot tool, and this time I want to create, let's say, df process. Okay. Not process, you can just literally do anything. Okay, process and use this tool to process the fetch data. Okay, and then let's say data has been processed. Simple. You can literally write any logic here because we are literally creating these functions. And these functions can just talk to any API, any package URL, and everything. Simple. Good.
Yeah, it depends
Now,
on the
these two tools are good, and I just want to create an MCP server for these two tools. Okay, how we can do that? Now, I am creating an stdio MCP server. Okay, stdio. So I can also write first MCP server and then stdio. Simple. That means this MCP server will be running local. Yes, we MCP server owners decide like what type of transformation we need to pick. Okay, we need to pick. So now I will simply go to my normal boilerplate thing. If not, if name, if transport name equals to main, then simply say run the MCP server but transport equals to stdio. This is very important, non-negotiable, because you have to decide how you just want to run this particular server, right? Now it's time to run this server. So what I will do, I will literally open my terminal. Let's wait for our virtual environment to up and running. Perfect. And now I can say Python and then the name of the function. Okay. Do you know what? When we just pick these big names, that is the only pain point. We just need to run this file like this. Okay, chapter 1, create MCP, and then slash first MCP server stdio.py. Hit enter. And let's wait. Okay, so it has actually started this particular server, as you can see. Fast MCP. Wow. Okay. And this is the CLI that you see. Not a CLI, basically they have just literally put this nice visual here. So here I can see that my server is now up and running. Now how can we just work with this particular MCP server? How? Because we have server ready. Okay, we have the server ready. Now we need a client, right? We need a host, and we need this configuration as well, so that we can connect to this MCP server and we can just work with it. And as I just mentioned in the fundamental theory, that whenever we just build stdio MCP server, we literally download the MCP server locally and then we just work with it. So here we have the MCP server here in our local system, and then let's see how we can just create a client to just work with this particular MCP server. Makes sense? And let's see how we can just do it. So now let's try to create a very first client. And in order to create Python client, there are two ways. The first is um, like very raw way that we will not use in the production applications. Okay, but still, when you want to understand the entire flow, the behind the scenes work, then it is very important. And once you understand behind the scenes, then you just go with the recommended approach. Okay, so I'll just show you both the ways. So let's create the raw client, which will give you a very depth knowledge about what exactly we do when we create a client. Okay, once you understand that thing, then I'll just tell you very simple, straightforward way, the way that you will love and the way that is recommended when you are building any production grade solution. Okay, so let's say Python client dot py. So now in order to create this client, let me just close this terminal. So I will simply need some packages. Okay, first of all, I will need import OSY because we need to tell where I have downloaded my MCP server. And as you can see now here, I have the MCP server here. I can hardcode this location, but it is not something that we should do. We should never hardcode the locations because let's say you are building something on Mac and tomorrow you are deploying something on Linux or let's say Windows. It can just create a conflict, right? So we just use the OS module. Okay. So apart from this, we also need to use something called as from MCP dot client because we just need to create a client. But which type of client? We need to create std IO client. Okay, and from here we just need to create import std IO client. By the way, you can just see this code in the documentation as well. Okay, you can just create a config, right? So we just use the OS module. Okay, so apart from this, we also need to use something called as from MCP dot client because we just need to create a client. But which type of client? We need to create std IO client. Okay, and from here we just need to create import std IO client. By the way, you can just see this code in the documentation as well. It is written there, but I'm simply writing it for you. And after this, you also need to import from MCP import, and I think you won't need to add this MCP package as well because I don't think so we have added this MCP package. We have only added fast MCP, which is for building the MCP servers. Makes sense? But we will just add it only. We need to import
Power grid. Then this is streaming or not, I don't know. I will continue.
Perfect. So these three things I need to import, and let me just check if I have MCP. If not, I can quickly say we add MCP. Perfect. Okay, now it has automatically downloaded. I think it was already there. That's why it's showing this all. Very good. So you can also double check if it is there in the different CSV or MCP. So MCP package is all downloaded. Now, first of all, we need to create the path to the MCP server. Now, because I am just using stdio MCP server, in this scenario, I have saved my MCP server in the same working directory. But sometimes it can be in a different directory. Maybe when you are just writing so many applications, most probably you would be just creating a dedicated directory, working directory for just MCP servers, and you can just redirect all the requests to that particular directory. It can be the scenario. So that is why I'm just using this particular thing. And here I will simply say MCP server scripts, and I know that my script is in my current directory. So I will simply say os.path.absolute path because you need absolute path. And what which path I need? I would need not absolute path because if I use absolute path to get the location. Okay, let me use absolute path of this. Okay, file. If I do this, I will get the absolute path of this file, Python client. But this is a client. This is not a you can say MCP server. So I just need path in my create MCP folder, right? These are like Python parameters. So I'll simply say os.path.directory name because I just need the path till directory name, and I can then get a directory. Okay, and then I can simply apply a join function to now direct the file name. So I'll simply say first of all wrap this entire thing, and then I can say os dot is one more curly bracket, comma and dot UI. Okay, and let's see if the path is fine. I can run this particular file and let's see. I should see the entire path. Yes, it is fine. C drive, MCP master class, then chapter 1, then this server. Very good. That's up to that. So I'll simply create a client session, and here I'll simply say MCP client. And before we create the client, we need to create the stdio server parameters. Okay. So I'll simply say create server parameters. So server parameters equals to stdio server parameters. This is the same package that I have put it here. And here we simply define some things. What kind of thing? What command I need to use to run my MCP server? Makes sense? I want to use, let's say, Python. That's it. That's it for now. And if this is just one command, I just move this list. Okay. Because whenever I just want to run my MCP server, I just want to run it with Python command. Because whenever you just run it, file, you simply say Python, file name, right? Python, and then script name, whatever, right? And then I will simply write arguments, which is my MCP server script path. I hope it makes sense. And I can even convert it into string because sometimes it returns the object. So this is my arguments. Now it is asking for the environment. So obviously we don't have any kind of environment variable, so it will be just empty dictionary like this. That is it. And here I can simply close it because this is a kind of reusable parameter format that I can just use in all the clients that I just created. Okay, very good. Now let's finally create a session. Now, because this particular MCP server works with asynchronous behavior, we have to create asynchronous coroutine. If you know about coroutine, you should know about coroutine. Coroutine is basically a function which can take asynchronous requests. Okay, it runs on the concept called event loop. Asynchronous is actually a very detailed topic in itself, but in short, asynchronous behavior is something that allows asynchronous calls to your functions. Okay, makes sense, simple, and it is very simple. We just need to create a special function. Let's say if I'm creating a function like this, def, then I just need to change and add this word asynchronous and then def. That's it. Okay, and let's call it as main because we just writing all the logic within this thing. Then we need to create a context manager, and that too with asynchronous. So I'll simply say asynchronous with client session. You can just use STO client as well. So STO client, and then I just need to pass these server parameters, and then obviously create an object called session. Okay, and again I'm reading. I know this is a very hard way to create a client, but I will just tell you the simplified way as well. But this is very important, and you need to know behind the scenes. Okay, and within this context, we need to create one more context. It is called asynchronous with, and this time what will be the client? It will be client session. Okay, and then we need to put session as our, you can say, object within this. Okay, let's do it like this. Let me just write this thing, and let's use as, let's say, session. Okay, I think we don't need to write session here. It will be read, right? I can show you that is tool or get tool, whatever, is a function that we have within this particular object that we have created session, and this will return all of the tool, but with arguments. But what with arguments? It will also return what arguments it is expecting from us for basically any relative workload. That is the main thing about MCP. It will not just return the tool names, because function names are of no use. I cannot just make a function call without any kind of information about that function, any kind of information about arguments, but it will just return that. Wow. So I think it will be listed because I didn't see color being changed. Yeah, now it's fine. Let's choose. So it is done. Yes, it is fine now. And now I can literally create. I think this should also be. Wait. Yeah, I think this should also be read, right? I think so, because we first create the object here and then we use that object here. Okay. Yeah. And then we just create a session. Okay. So this is my main function. Now I don't need to do anything. I just need to run this file. So I will import async IO. Yes, async IO is very important to run the code routine. Async IO, and let's trigger it. Async IO dot run main. Boom. Are you ready to run this thing? Let's see what will happen. Obviously, if you see any errors, we are developers, we will fix the errors. Okay. Let's run this. In order to run this, you can click here. Or right after you create the function object, it converts your doc string into the description. Wow. Power of MCP. I didn't do it. I literally created the MCP server. It automatically does that. Using this to write fetch line and description. Do I have any description? Tool fetch to tools. This is the main thing. So this is the thing I'm just talking about. Available tools. Meta equals to none. Next cursor equals to none. Tools. This is the main thing. So I have tool name called fetch. Do I have fetch tool? Yes, I have. This is the tool. This is the tool fetch. Okay, very good. Title equals to none because I didn't pass any title. That is fine. And description. Do I have any description? Yes. Use this tool to fetch data from the source. Unchill Lama. This line looks familiar. But where did we define this line? Very good question. This is your doc string, bro. This is your doc string. See, dfh, and it literally converted your doc string internally into what description. So whatever you write, right after you create a function object, it converts your doc string into the description. Wow, power of MCP. I didn't do it. I literally created the MCP server. It automatically does that using this decorator. Simple, very good. And then do I have information about the input arguments? Yes, input schema equals to additional properties false because I do not have any kind of input scheme. I am not expecting any kind of arguments, but I can. If I have those things, it will also be written here. This is a detailed context about my tool that I have created within my MCP so that any agent can use it, any agentic workflow can use it. Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Again, do I have any tool? Yes, this is the other tool name. So I have literally the entire tools list. Wow. Now just tell me one thing. If I hand over this information to any agentic workflow, will that agentic workflow, because obviously LLMs are really smart now, can they make the right choice? Yes. Yes. Can they pass the arguments? Yes. Because they know what exactly we need to pass. Second thing is, they know what exactly we need to pass in which format. Am I expecting any kind of dictionary? Am I expecting any kind of what? Because as a standard, it expects all the inputs in the form of JSON. Oh, and it will also know the format as well. Let me show you. Let's say I just make some changes in my server. Let's say in my process, I just ask for the path of string format. Okay, because I need the path to process your data. So since the data has been processed, add path, and this is my path. Okay, let's rerun this particular client now. Let's see what will we get. Let's say here, perfect, and let's run this one. Perfect, and this time you will see that I will get some information regarding my you can say parameters as well. Let's see. In the tool name process, description obviously is there, we know that, but this time I have rerun this particular client to process your data. So let's say in my process, I just ask for the path of string format, okay, because I need the path to process your data. So since the data has been processed, add path, and this is my path. Okay, let's rerun this particular client now. Let's see what will we get. Let's say clear, perfect, and let's run this one. Perfect, and this time you will see that I will get some information regarding my you can say parameters as well. Let's see. In the tool name process, description obviously is there, we know that, but this time I have this particular properties as well. Path is what? My input argument. And what is the type? String. It also has that information. Everything is done with this particular decorator called MCP.tool. Everything, every small information is converted into context that your model can consume to automatically take decisions, to call the tool and get the result back. That is why nowadays you are seeing that MCPs are very much in demand because it actually provides everything to our model, to our AI agentic workflow. Wow. Yes. Okay. Obviously, now you can literally write any custom logic you want to write, any custom logic you want to write for your organization or for your client, like whatever work you are doing. You can just create MCP servers like this. This is a very basic example, but you just need to understand that this is all you need to do. You can literally just do anything you want. Anything you want. Anything you want. You just need to just do this thing and that's it. And now you don't know to ask me one thing. Anshuman, why didn't you just write asynchronous here? Even if you do not write this thing, it is equivalent to this. It will internally make this change. Do not worry at all. If I just write this thing, it is equivalent to this thing. Because MCP, fast MCP expects you to just write only and only asynchronous code and that's it. Oh, so by default you need to just assume this thing that you can only create the asynchronous functions, and that's it. And that is the requirement as well. You do not want synchronous behavior, because synchronous behavior literally locks the threads whenever you're making some calls to that tool, right? So this is your Python line. Now this is fine, but this is not like very very handy when we just creating line. Exactly. That is why it is very good when you just want to understand the output, like how exactly it will behave. And if you just want to, let's say, invoke any tool. Okay, let's say you are just building any automation pipeline, and if you just want to use the fetch tool, okay, then you can literally call any function by yourself, because see, you will call the function or AI will call the function. Same thing. Function should be called. Simple. Function should be called. So you can literally call any particular tool with the same object session. But you need to make sure that what tool you are calling, okay, what tool you are calling. Second thing is argument is very important. Let me show you. So let's say I just want to use fetch tool. Okay. First simply say the result equals to await session dot call to. This is the function that we use call to, and I want to use fetch. But this is a very simple call. Let's use process, because in process we have to just send the parameters as well. Let's say process. Okay. Now I will simply say arguments, and now in the arguments I will simply say any path, obviously, and then I can just print this data. Let's now run this thing, and now let's see what will we get. Okay. Because now we should first of all see the tools list, and then we should also see the data. So I can see data has been processed at path this thing form. This way you can just make any tool call using the client. So all of the functions are available to me. All of these functions. See? Go back to the architecture. I'm literally making the API calls using the client. Oh, and this is your USB-C JSON part is coming total, because when we just use the raw method, we do not need to provide the JSON. We literally just create a client like normally with any SDK, Python, TypeScript, anything, and it will automatically route my logic to the respective APIs. Wow, that's exactly what I need to do. Where's the other VSDI here? That's exactly what I need to do. So this is a very basic example of creating the STDIO based server. Okay.
Okay, so
Makes sense.
behind the
And I hope it is
scenes
clear.
kind of
Now,
scripts
I
are
want to
going
show
to
you
run
the recommended approach to create AI.
session.
And the approach which will actually very handy whenever you just want to build solutions for anything. And for that, you will use a very popular open source framework, very popular in the AI era, okay, in this AI world. It is called LangChain. Yes. So LangChain is a very special module, very special utility that we can use to build a client very easily. It's an amazing module.
By the way, yeah, that's all for the day. I'm planning to cover it tomorrow. Okay. Because it's 3 o'clock. I'm 3 1. I'm just exhausted. I started early. So yeah, let's close it. So by the way, thank you so much. If anyone is gonna watch it, you can literally see my exercise. I don't know. Maybe I need to use cold water to rinse my face, and then I will. Okay, I will wait for a few minutes, and after that I will go to bed. So that's all for the day. So what we learned today? First, when I was trying to build a dashboard, though it wasn't working perfectly, it failed. What I wanted to do, it's like it was using data source. Maybe the description wasn't perfect. We are going to do it tomorrow, or maybe I'll do it and we'll do something else. Locally, I might check it first. Okay. So second thing, we started today learning MCP, and if you have, let me summarize what I learned so far. So first of all, MCP helps you. Basically, you can get a standard protocol how you are going to connect your system, or you can say your host, to the server, and you can get the information data that is needed. I will tell you tomorrow, maybe in better way. So yeah, stay tuned for it. And thank you so much. Bye bye. We'll connect tomorrow, and see you soon. And sleep well and wake up refreshed. Alright, that's